word at the bottom of your screen.
Got it. So thank you, Robin. We should be set now. But during that career aptitude test took my interest in mind. And then I was part of the Upward Bound program. And then as I was part of Upward Bound, I was able to see what math and science, actually, we did the penny boats. And I just was so amazed and thought this was the greatest thing ever. I knew nothing about engineering, but that sparked me, was those summer camps. And then ultimately, I went on to get a mechanical engineering degree at a school that was a co-op school, which I tell everybody is really great. 12-week school, 12 weeks work, 12 weeks school, 12 weeks work, and started that as a freshman. Then I was able to work at AmeriCorps because I actually did engineering because I love problem solving, but realized I actually did love people and wanted to see how I could give back. I worked as an assistant director for a while at a K-8 program where I was able to plan spring breaks and summer camps, and then worked at UT and then my introduction to engineering summer camp as a camp director. And then now I currently work as a camp director or a program manager for the Texas Advanced Computing Center, which is also housed at UT Austin. It's part of UT Austin. We're just not an academic arm. Yaritza is going to be introducing herself momentarily, but she's been in our program since 2018. I remember going into her classroom and talking to her. And I should mention, when we recruit for our programs, even though we're focusing on like computer science, we go into math classes, we'll go into English classes, we go into, I'm going to say, the untraditional in the sense of everyone has to take the class, but we recognize we have people in those classes that may not know about these opportunities, and we want them to apply. And she was in her math class in 2018 and ultimately got accepted. And then you see her dance. That was when she was really doing the code and she had it. And I was so excited, so proud of her. And then she came back even for an online program, and then ultimately came back to be a counselor and then head counselor, and then even a head counselor again for 2024. And she's planning the camps. And so you'll hear a lot more about her stories. Feel free to ask her lots of questions because I feel like she's a wealth of knowledge of being able to experience it from a student, from as a participant, as a leader. So when she's in the green shirt, she was actually a leader, which is a student that got to come back to the program, and how she saw it on the other side as a counselor and then a head counselor. So Yadi, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Yanita Kenyon. I'm a junior at Texas State University going for my computer science degree. I've been with TAC since, as Dawn said, since 2018. So that's 6 years at this point. I don't regret any of it. I love this. I love Code at TAC. I think it's a great opportunity for students. It's changed my life, and I feel like we could change other students' lives. I'm really happy to be part of this, and I can't wait to tell y'all more about the camps that we run.
And so TACs, just a little bit of our history. So we have free summer camps, and our summer camps, we have a cohort of 30. For our one connected camp, which is our advanced computer science camp, we have 20, but then we allow 6 people to come back. So if they came the previous year, we allow them to come back as near peer mentors. So giving that closeness for them to learn and be role models for the students coming in. We also have, in the past, we've had 4 camps. This last summer, we had 4 camps. We had 2 advanced level, one that was advanced computer science, one advanced cybersecurity, and then we have intro cybersecurity camp, and then we had an intro to coding camp. But trying to get students and give them an opportunity to continue on. Within our programs, family component is extremely important. As I said, for myself, I was first generation. My mom did not understand the process. She told me I was going to have to figure it out on my own. And so we try to explain more of what that process is going to look like for the parents. We try to explain to the parents what our actual project is, because again, it's how do you can say engineering, but if you've never done it or been in that space and heard a lot of information about it, you may not really know what that means. So we break it down. We'll show, okay, this is what coding is. Coding is instructions. And this is an example of this is the code we wrote and this is how it moved, so that parents can feel more comfortable about the decisions that their student is making, and that they can also feel like they can be a part of that decision to either encourage or guide them on that process. We have, we make sure that at each of our programs, we do company tours, we do lab tours, again, trying to show students, this is what you could do. Hopefully that there's role models. We do let the companies know, so that they usually will have a panel at the end that's more representative of the students that we're targeting. But again, giving students an opportunity to see it, to see that the possibilities. That's we really think showing the students the possibilities are very important. Soft skills, it's not just the job to be comfortable. So we do like dining etiquette. And I think for myself, I remember doing engineering dinners and I was extremely uncomfortable because I had no idea how to use my knife and fork. But we have that session. I've even had a parent, she sent me an email one time because she was saying, my son just told me the bread is supposed to go on the left side and my drink is supposed to be on the right, because we did the bread and the drink to show them how the tables are set. So again, they're taking that information and even passing it on to their families. The re-engagement, so not just having the summer camp, but giving them an opportunity to come back to additional summer camps and meet students from the summer camp that they didn't attend. So we almost make them like a preview so that they can see what they can get involved in at the next year.
And these are some of the sponsorship that we have regarding our camps. These are the reason why the camps are free for all students and make it possible for us to have the amazing camp that we do and all the activities that we do. So we're really grateful for these sponsors.
We love sponsors. Anyone want to give us money? We'll take it. So our tech summer camp stats, this is looking at overall, we've had 616 students come through the program. 45% have been girls. And we don't talk a whole lot later about the recruitment, but we would say that it's that role modeling again. Being able for myself to be in front of the students, I'll hear students say many times, because you came and said you were an engineer, it made a difference for me. And because of you coming in and just the way that our group comes in, because it's not just me, we also have a male that goes out and recruits, but to see the connections that can be made and that comfort level during that recruiting process has yielded us 45% girls. 50% of our students are eligible for free or reduced lunch. And I will say we do target recruit, but we're not exclusive, if you will, in our recruiting. So we do target Title I low-income schools, and I apologize, I'm gonna cut my emails off in a minute. And we have, you see the other stats here. So first generation for Black and Latinx. And then for our first-time camp attendees, we have 46%. So we do target students who've never been to, well, shouldn't say we target. When we go to the schools that are Title I schools, majority of those students have not been to a summer camp before since they've been in high school. And then we have 25% of our students that have come through a program come back. So they may have come back as a leader, or they may have come back as a participant. And all the photos that you'll see in the background are photos from camps over the different years. This one that we have here is actually from our dining etiquette meal that we had at Steiner Ranch Steakhouse. I was reading her lips. At Steiner Ranch Steakhouse is where we had our etiquette dinner for this year. And she was on the bottom picture, or bottom of the picture, holding the little baby. Hence, I have to mention that. So we want you to put like in the chat your thoughts on, or not even your thoughts, but what is it that you teach? Because that's one of the things like that people talk about. It's, what do you teach? And so when we ask too, when we say, what do you teach? We're also saying, what is the goal of the program? What are you trying to get across to the students? Anybody can add to the chat if they like. can't tell if people are typing, but I'm trying to get. Okay, I just saw someone say, like, give me a second. Librarian, you teach everyone. Absolutely true. When I was in college, I was able to assist librarians. That was cool. They had a lot of information. I feel like knowing the librarian actually helped me do my thesis and everything else. Had I not worked in the library, I wouldn't have known so many resources. So thank you. Science methods to undergraduates, master students. Okay. So I see, oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading to myself because of course I have it. So it says I teach science methods. I work in at our STEM, and our goal is to increase student or STEM engagement in our area by creating high quality programs. I work in school districts with under TAME. Okay, with TAME. So looking at all of these, it's like making sure that you talk about the goal, because if you're going to reach out with students, you don't want to just say, for instance, well, I do computer science, but how you can explain it, how you talk about it. Like many times I'll ask my mom or I'll ask someone who's nowhere in the field and ask them, okay, well, how does this sound to you? Just for them to tell me what I'm communicating. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So you're saying it's a robot? Like, I'm like, oh, you can learn Python. So we get snakes, and just being able to talk to people that, again, aren't in that field, so that when I say the goal of the program, I can actually express what the goal of the program is. I teach everything in STEM. And I think confidence is a goal. Yes. And me and Yaritza actually talked about how confidence is so important for everything, everything. And I feel like that makes a difference. If you can teach students to be confident, you can help them achieve, I would say, anything, because they're willing to take the risk to try to learn it. So I think that's really awesome. I teach all levels of high school computer science courses as a sole computer. Oh, you're the only one at your school. Okay. The goal shows students regardless of gender and race. Yes, that's really cool. That's really cool. We teach STEM K-12, includes summer camps. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of information. Thank you guys for participating and adding it in there. And we've been to classrooms, again, like for one of the local schools, Navarro, they had a computer science class and we were able to go and recruit for our camp. We went to the cafeteria and they had said before, they're like, oh no, we got everybody who's interested in computer science. We went into the cafeteria and recruited and had an additional like 15 students. And they were like, we didn't even know these students were interested. So again, just making sure that we take roles to explain the program, or use that as one of your goals of how you explain the program, and are you doing it in classes that everyone have to take, as opposed to being specific to they're already in a tech field. And so, Yadi, I'll let you go next.
And how do you set the tone of your classroom or program? Meaning, like, what are the expectations that you put in place for your specific class or program? An example for our camp is we have a bunch of board games out in the living room just so they know that they're able to play, they're able to do whatever they want. We have coloring books, color pencils, board games, and we have them already set out and look like they're already played so that they're welcome to go for it and to go play. And we're just trying to set the tone that it's a comfortable environment, and we're just trying to welcome them.
And we also have the sense of belonging. So we'll tell you definitely a lot later, or more later, a little bit later, just to how we create the sense of belonging. But what are things that you're doing to make the students feel like you recognize them, that you saw them? I'll hear students say all the time, well, no one's listening to us anyway. So that to me is a big deal of how can they tell that you were listening? And then Yadi, I see that there's the one that they were talking about tone. I don't know if you wanted to.
The tone, be welcoming, smile, show that I care about them. Those are great ones. As long as we do as well. The first impression is a major part of how you set the tone. And the camps, how they greet you, it's a major part of how the tone is set.
And I'll add to this that everyone's a little bit different. So I will tell you, when I get excited, I'm super duper duper bubbly. I'm excited, or when I'm nervous, I'm usually bubbly too. But I recognize if people are really bubbly with me, I usually turn off from them and I'm like, I don't trust you. So if you see like all of our counselors together, you'll see some people that are just little sparks and they're just, hey, everybody. And you'll see more chill people of, hey, let's talk. And you'll see people who are real like enforcers. You'll see different types, because we recognize that there are different types of people will attract additional people. So I was supposed to ask about the sense of belonging for you to put it in the chat. Feel free. We'll go to the next slide and talk a little bit more about the sense of belonging. The reason that we say that sense of belonging is our guiding principle is because it yields higher engagement, fewer incidents, stronger academic achievement, because again, they feel like they're a part of something. I always say it feels like a family. We'll have day one of our program. So if we start at 3:00 on a Sunday, I will see no one talking until dinner time at like 6:00, and everybody, you'll assume that they knew each other already. At least for the last 2 years, I've seen that, which was absolutely amazing to me. Sense of belonging, name tags, pronouns, feedback, surveys. Yes, definitely. Surveys definitely make a huge difference for us, having those name tags ready for when they get there. Individualizing, individuals who come in to multiple camps. Bringing guest speakers to match participants. Yes. And that's one of the things that I always see, or I try to let people know if we're coming out and say, hey, this is the demographics of our group, so that they understand. But I will honestly say, sometimes it doesn't happen. We went to somewhere this past summer, and we're like 50% will be women. And out of a panel of like 4 or 5, they had like 1 woman and like no Black people. So it happens, but at the same time, I appreciate it. And to hear the responses, even from the girls that were there, like, oh, that's made such a difference. They took from that one person that was there that I was just elated from. So you can get something from all different efforts, I'll say, but just making sure you try. I always say trying is important. But sense of belonging, like I said, we try to incorporate that in everything we do. And we'll talk about the surveys. Education theories, I am not well versed in this at all. However, I attended a presentation, and just seeing it's the sociocultural as for Van Goghi, it's the scaffolding. And we use the scaffolding for our students, for our program. So again, coming in as a participant, I'll use Yaritza. She came in as a participant when she was in 9th grade. In 10th grade, she came back for the robotics, our introductory our introductory computer science camp. She came back as a leader. And she'll talk to you more about how what she specifically did as a leader. But as a leader, she was able to be a role model to the students that were coming in. And even when we did recruitment at her school, she came to the classrooms and was recruiting the students as well to tell them about her experience. And then she was a participant at another program. So we do the scaffolding. And even with our counselors, most of our counselors actually have been through our camp. And when they weren't, they were still like, they didn't have to be a STEM major. We had STEM majors, we have communication majors and other things, but it was people that look like our students and somebody that they could relate to. I think it's a very big deal to have students who are in college and they can tell you, like, don't give up, you can do this. and seeing students, one of our students, we have a videotape. She said she didn't know, this is her words, not mine. She said she didn't know Mexicans went to college. I was like, what? And so but it was cool that she even expressed it and shared it. And like I said, we have the video clip of her. So she's like, I didn't know. And being able to have that exposure, and that was from the counselors, and those counselors were not from our previous camp. They were just people that looked like the students. Also look up Bandura if you ever get a chance. For the theories, look up Bandura. He gives an example, or he did research on having like this blow up dowel and dowel. I'm from Michigan, so dowel sounds very natural to me. But it's DOLL is what I'm trying to say. And they had 3 to 5 year olds, and they had an adult in the room. And when the adult was angry, he would hit the dowel. And then sometimes they would take a bat and stuff like that and hit the dowel. And then they put the students in a similar situation. Again, research, so it was control groups and everything. They would put the students, and they were watching something and all involved in it. And then they stopped them in the middle and then put them in the room, where the students that had seen the adults beat the dowel did the same thing, where the students that did not, did not. And so recognizing that we are role models, whether we realize it or not, the students are watching us. So I always say, like, sarcasm, try not to do sarcasm because it's not always understood. And sarcasm always has something that you're like teasing somebody about. And one, they'll start teasing each other. And then the second one, they'll start guarding themselves when they're with you because they feel like they don't want to be teased and at the other end of it. So again, that was really cool. Yadi's going to talk more about like our specific goals, because our examples of our goals. Our goals is to broaden awareness of students who have been historically underrepresented, how we set our tone, what our expectations are for the students, how we do that. And I know she gave a little bit before. And then our sense of belonging, some examples of what we do to create that sense of belonging.
And the goal, how I see the goal is that we try to achieve is giving students an experience and opportunities that would be harder for them to get with the different circumstances that they have, whatever that may be. And the way we set our tone, setting the tone is extremely important because it tells someone how the rest of their experience is going to be. One thing we pride about our camps is we're really prepared. We prepare everything. We take 3 days of training, and we take those 3 days to prepare everything. So when they come in, everything's set for them. Their name tags are done. Their name tags on their doors are done. There's different sheets of paper and different things that they need in their room already. They have water bottles set for them just because it's in the summer, extremely hot. We have those ready for them. The kitchen is fully stocked for them. They don't have to worry about anything. They just have to come and be here and learn. We have everything set as in food activities. So when it's time to eat, they're doing something while me and Dawn are running around trying to get everything set up for them. So once they come in, food's ready. They don't have to worry about anything. And that sense of preparation is that they feel like that we're waiting for them and that they're wanted in a way. And then creating a sense of belonging. They go hand in hand to each other, but they're different in a way. Creating a sense of belonging is a big part of what we want to do. We want them to feel comfortable. And like Dawn said, that the counselors all look like them, all the students, so they know that they have that immediate sense of connection. I wanted to tell this story in the past slide, but last summer, I had one of the girls come up to me, and at the end of each camp, they give like thank you letters to whoever they want to. And her thank you letter was saying that she's never seen a Latin woman in STEM. And I was the first woman she's seen in STEM. And she was crying, and it was just so heartfelt. And I still have the little thank you letter that she has, and I know her name, and I remember. And I think if you remember someone's name, that they remember you. And I hope that I've made an impact in her life and that she can continue her career in STEM. So I think a sense of belonging is so important. And the whole reason I'm here with Dawn today is because of that sense of belonging of her being a woman. and her giving me that presentation in the 9th grade. It's so extremely important. I can't stress that enough. And the first interaction that the students and parents have is me and another counselor who is either a Black male or a female, just so we have that sense of belonging because most of our students are Black or Hispanic. And oh, another way that we get a sense of belonging is, since most of our students are Hispanic and I am bilingual, I can have that conversation with the parents just so that there's not like they're talking to their student to try to talk to me, because if I were only an English speaker, they would have to go through their student to talk to me. And it just gives their parents a sigh of relief that I can answer their questions directly instead of the question getting mixed up, or that it's not really answering the question. I can tell because my mom didn't really want me to go to the camps just because she didn't know what it really was or how they would treat me. But knowing that there were Spanish speakers there, it gave her a sense of security that I'll be okay and I'll be accepted.
Yeah, I agree. That was really awesome. And she has more stories to tell about the different things that we do. And this is similar to how, like Robin was saying, she gives them their giveaways and snacks and everything for the first thing. So what we do is we have a mix and mingle game. So like Yadi said, we have the mix and mingle board already in the room. It's sitting on their desk and it has a pen next to it. And this mix and mingle game, they only have to get 90% correct. And if anybody wants it, we can send it to them. We change the questions for each of our camps, but we have like one in there. Find somebody who has the same hairstyle or texture of hair as you. Again, it's something different, but I'll have students come up to me. You got braids, I got braids. Come on, let's, you see that connection. One of the specific things, we had one of the students come in and she was crying. Like I didn't meet her before. Her mom had been drilling me in the dorms, but I didn't realize that her daughter was so scared to come in. And so her daughter wanted to leave. She wanted to leave. She wanted to leave. She ended up completing the first day this mix and mingle card and found somebody. It's like a movie, a little nothing about everything or something. It was some movie that I had never heard of, and majority of the people didn't either. But one of the students knew the movie too, and it was her favorite movie. And all the tears dried up, and she had a best friend for the rest of the camp. And I say that one story, but I can give you multiple stories. And the students will even say, well, I don't even remember most of the names that I got on the sheet. I'm like, but do you remember one or two? And they're like, yes. I said, do you feel more comfortable walking up to these strangers? And they're like, yes. I said, that's the whole purpose of what we're doing. And so once they fill out the card, and usually like day one, again, the Sunday when they're eating dinner, they'll start turning in the cards to Yaritza. And when they turn in the cards, we give them a Code Attack backpack with a water bottle, with sunglasses, with just a bunch of stuff in it that they will want. They don't have to have it, but there's stuff that they'll want. And you'll just all of a sudden see everybody, hey, come here, let me talk to you about this. And it's just their eyes get big just because, I mean, we give away good stuff. She's going to talk about later how she's picking it all out, but it's stuff that they want, not like, this was stuff from like 10 years ago that nobody else wanted. So these cards make a huge difference. And like I said, we've been using these since 2019, and we're constantly trying to put different questions. So if you've come to the robotics camp and then you come to the connected camp, you still have different questions to find different people. And how you do anything is how you do everything. And this is just a reminder that if you don't love people, like I am not the most sensitive person, I can compartmentalize almost anything. It's like you lost your toe. Okay, can you walk? That's not necessarily the sensitive thing to do, but there's multiple sensitive people, if you will, on our team and our group that could be able to address that. And then sometimes they may check me and be like, hey, so that I can either go back and apologize. But making sure that for myself, I recognize that I'm not the most sensitive. So I have to recognize when I'm in that situation of camp that I may not be the most sensitive. So I may not be the person the best person to address certain things. Again, I'm going to do my job and do what's necessary, but lean on the people around you. If you have someone who absolutely loves people, have them be the person that's like in front of the parents and getting to talk to them, because that's going to make the parents more comfortable, as opposed to the person you really don't like students. You really want them to learn computer science. You want them to learn STEM, but you could care less about the student. Parents feel that. Parents know that you don't care about their kid, and they're going to be more concerned, and the students feel it too, and they'll be a little bit more distant from you. So just recognize how you do anything is how you do everything. You can always change. You can always get better. There's opportunities to grow. So I'm not trying to X that out, but just making sure you know who you are, so that when you're in these situations, you know you're putting your best foot forward. Okay. Apologies, Yadi. Go ahead.
Family moment's a big part. When I was in the camps, I didn't have much family involvement because I come from a single mother home. So she was never there, but I always knew she supported me. She was there through spirit, but I know how family involvement affects these students, especially at the young age of 15, 16. I know they want their parents there, and I know they want them to see what they did for the week. And during the week, we have projects that we do, and we give them the opportunity to explain what they did and show what they did. And so their parents can really visualize what their student was doing for the week and how hard they worked and what coding is, because most of the parents don't know or don't seem to understand before they come in. Um, we do Remind, which is an app where we send them updates and pictures, of course, pictures below, not showing any faces because we cannot show minors, but we show pictures of them, what we're doing. If we're out at Top Golf, we show them that their students are fine, because most of the students forget to text their parents that they're okay. So we're there to give them that sense of security that their students are fine. And the surveys, as we do surveys for the students as well before and after they come to the camps, but we also give them to the parents to see if they liked what we did, because the parents are there for orientation and the final presentation. We want to see if there's ways that we can improve the orientation or the final presentation. And we give them a survey to see how their student is doing after, if they change, if they're more interested into STEM, if they're talked about the camp more. We just want to see their output as much as the students as well. And for lifestyle food, we eat a bunch of different foods. We also eat the dining hall just to give them a sense of a little taste of what college is like. We can't give them all the good stuff. In music, for food, one year last summer, we tried Mediterranean food just so we can help these students branch out into something they're not really comfortable in. Most of the students didn't like it, but there was that one student who in love with it, took it in his room, ate it for breakfast. He loved it, and we were happy that he loved it, but we had to order pizza after because most of the students were a little hungry. And for music, like I said, for the surveys, we gather on all that information of what the students like to listen to and want to hear. I go through all that and I note it, but of course I'm not going to put something that talks badly about someone or has bad words or just something not appropriate for school. And I curate a playlist for that specific music that they wanted, so they can know that and I listened and that they were heard and their music's there when they come in for camp. And sports, most of them are in sports since they're in high school. So we always try to get basketball, volleyballs, soccer balls, footballs, just so when we're in the downtime not learning, that they can go play outside and have fun. And for the next level camps, as Don was saying earlier, I've attended basically all the camps, and for the robotics was the first one, and I came back 2019 to be a peer leader, which is like the middle ground of a counselor, because a counselor can be scary knowing that I've been a counselor now. But a peer mentor is like, you're still a student, you're a year older than them or a couple of years older than them, and I feel like they're more comfortable to talk to you about seeking some help or asking what upperclassmen is like, or seeing what their future goals are, just so you can have a little friend, but someone who's older than you. And then that same year I did Connected, which is a camp that involves data collection, electrical engineering, and coding. It was my favorite camp, and Dawn always says like it was the camp that like it opened my eyes. I knew when I did robotics that I wanted to continue my career in STEM, but Connected was where it solidified it. Um, we were partnered up, and my partner, I don't know if it's just I'm a perfectionist or I don't know, but I was just taking the reins on this project. And I was having a bit of trouble. I think some of us stayed till 12 a.m. trying to finish our project before the day of the presentation. Luckily, I finished before that, but there was people who were there till 12 a.m. But I was working hard and hard and hard, and there was a immense of support behind me. Jamie, which is another one of the people who work with us, that he was like, "You got it, you can do it," and that I love encouragement. And I finally did it, and Dawn walked in the room, and I was lit up. Like my eyes were I was so happy. I've never finished a code like that I thought was genuinely challenging, because the code that they give us, it's like already written, but we just have to put our input in it. But I wanted something completely different. So I scrapped all that code and wrote it myself, because I just had a different vision of what my diorama wanted to be. So it was way harder than everyone else's. And once I finished it, it was something I've never felt ever again. I think it was just the first time you've ever finished something big like that. And Dawn said that she's never seen me like that. And I think that that situation truly changed my life and has led me to where I am right now, where I want to work for the camps. I want I want another student to feel that way of how I felt. And I'm happy to lead them in that direction. Um, and that I've also been a counselor last year, and I was the head counselor for this summer. And I'm going to be the head counselor for next summer. I truly love this camp. This camp has done so much for me. And I feel like this camp alone has given me so much confidence and leadership, because when I came in 2018, I'm not the same girl that you see right now presenting, because this is crazy. But this camp has given me so much confidence. And the soft skills, I always say this, that I think soft skills are extremely important, especially in our field, that in computer science. Hard skills are obviously important, but soft skills make you the person that you are. And when people meet you, that's what they see first. They don't see that you can code 3 billion lines and no AI. I'm like, soft skills, yes, thank you, you're welcome. How you act is everything. Dawn will talk more about characteristic stickers that we have, but those are soft skills that we try to get out of people as much, like detail oriented, admirable, focused, forward thinking, things like that. And we do thank you cards, which is like I was talking about earlier. At the end of the week, we have a big stack of thank you cards that we encourage them to write. We think we do like 3 thank you cards, because there's always someone to thank. And we just want to instill that to them. Always say thank you. Always say thank you to anyone who is giving you something. We work really hard for them, and we just want them, not even us, but to the janitors, to people who serve them, to if we're out and about, to the bus drivers, everyone, we try to instill that into them. And the Google, Samsung, and Dell tours, they're great. They get to it really visualize the jobs that they could get, and they're a great way to see what's happening. Earlier this summer, we went to Samsung, and we saw that it was like a manufacturing factory. Like there was people, we could see them working from up level like this, and we could see them working. It was like, and then we saw little robots doing. It was just really cool. I've never seen anything like that. And then for the branded swag, as Dawn was talking about earlier, that the backpacks that they get after they turn in their their icebreaker cards is branded swag that I've chosen since I'm younger, and I guess I know what's more hip even though I'm 20 now and I don't even know if I do anymore. But I try to get things that look nicer and something I would like to wear, because we give out water bottles, sunglasses, backpacks. Last summer we gave fanny packs. Those were so cool. Students didn't really like it. Some students did, but I don't know if we're bringing them back. We give them pop sockets, we give them little games. One year we gave them a little plant that they were growing in their dorms. It was so cute. But it just give them a sense of like that we try to get things that they will use outside of camp and not just here and just like throw it away somewhere later. And of course, it's free advertisement for us.
Okay, we're gonna blow through these next slides like super duper quick because technically the session ended. So if you just give an example, give your example that you got from this, from the student that you told me about.
Okay,
With
so
this, okay.
getting to know you. This is a surveys that we do that we talked about throughout the presentation. We try to give this before they come. So one student, we usually get Cheez-Its. This is, I guess that's just what we get for the camp. But she really made it clear that she loves goldfish. Goldfish, I love goldfish. Please get goldfish. So when she came, we already had goldfish waiting for her, and she was ecstatic, out of the moon. She loves goldfish. She ate that throughout the whole week. She loved it. And then she was like, y'all actually do listen to us.
And then characteristic stickers is just something that we give out the adults of the program, so counselors and adult staff. We don't give them out when they come on Sunday. We don't start giving out stickers until at least Tuesday because we watch the students. And so when we give them a sticker, we give them a sticker we give them a sticker that's specific. Like if I grabbed one, and I wouldn't necessarily give this one to her, but for Yadi, I would say, here's I'm giving you this because you're direct. I appreciate it when we were in that situation and we were all confused about what direction to go, da 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 da. You stood and made sure that we all understood your point, and you got it done. And I would give her that sticker, and then they stick it on the back of their name badge. We had someone make a video, and in the video they showed the stickers that they got because it meant that much to them. And Yadi can tell you what stickers she's even gotten over the time. But again, I know if you guys have to drop off, we understand. We're just trying to skip it real quick. But if you have any questions about this, we could tell you more on that. Just quick results. We just wanted to show you that our programs have made an impact. So you'll see the national average and then the averages that we have. So our underrepresented minorities, we're looking at Black, Hispanic, and Native American, but you can see how our numbers are yielding higher results. But again, this is our academic and this informal part. And hopefully through the presentation, you were able to get some ideas and ways that you could add to your program. And then this is our team. We want to make sure that we don't just say like, make it sound like it's just us. I always figure that you have to know it's not just us, it's more than us. This is our full-time staff of our education and outreach team. And so all of us have a role to play and making the camps and what they be and what they are. And then this is us. If you need to contact us, if you have any questions, we're available as well. But we apologize. We did run over 6 minutes, but we had lots of stories to tell you. So if anyone has any questions, I don't think I have to get kicked out of the room until 11:15, but if you have any questions, feel free to email us. You can feel free to reach out, put it in Slack, put it in chat. Thank you. Thank you guys for participating. Again, I apologize that we ran over. Yes, Rosalia.
Sorry, I was trying to add a reaction, not raise my hand. Thank you.
Rosalia is our leader. So I'm like our fearless leader. We love her. We love her. Yeah, you see, look at Yadi. She's excited too. So I was very excited to see you there. Okay. And I will send out the mix and mingle card to Allison. If anyone has any other questions, like I said, feel free to reach out. I don't mind sending out any of the stuff that we have. Our getting to know you again is just a side thing I'll add. One of the things about our getting to know you, when I first started doing camps, they always made references to Harry Potter. So in 2016, 16, everything was a reference to Harry Potter, a Harry Potter book. I have never read nor watched a Harry Potter movie. And I was like, the other, like half of the class was like me. And we had no idea what was going on. It made me feel so excluded from the class. And they didn't even realize it, that there was only this little group of students that were loving what they were saying. And the rest of us felt like we weren't a part of it. So that getting to know you was, hey, do you watch or read Harry Potter? Have you ever watched or done Star Wars? And that to me changed our conversation of how we even communicate with the students, because again, we can now communicate with them better on what they're interested in and not what we think they're interested in. But again, we can send you any of that information. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate your time. Yadi, thank you for doing the presentation. I'm so excited that she did the presentation as well. She's really awesome. She will do it. That's the thing, is if you ask her, she'll do it. She may not want to do it, but she can do it because she is awesome and she got so much in her and she's like a powerhouse. And I say I'm excited about her future because she knows I am, and she's going to be doing so many more things like this in the future and leading things. So thank you. We love you. We appreciate you being part of the program.